Welcome to Moonlight Madness, and today we're doing readings for October for Earth signs, the Sun, Moon, and Rising 2021. And we've just come out of the Libra moon, and we're going into an Aries moon on the 20th, according to some of the other readers I've been watching that do astrology, which I don't actually do. I deal with astrology as in tarot, astrological placements and things like that with the cards that I can use to help back up whether they have got, a fire sign with a Gemini in their natal chart, things like that. Influences of astrology, but I don't do astrology, so just to be clear. So this is a reading for Earth signs, and today the first card we pull is the Six of Winter, and that's to do with movement and travel and relocation. So some of you might be moving or traveling to a new place of work. It may be, on a train or a plane or an automobile where you have to literally leave one climate for another one. You see how that person's on a really cold area and they're moving to a warmer climate for a work situation, so that the frost is still on the ice. And a lot of people like to go visit people too, so you might just want to go on a holiday and then you decide that you want to stay there once you do go on a holiday. So Six of Winter is to do with that and moving away from stuff that might have hurt you in the past. The Six of Swords usually symbolizes the boat, where it's got 5 swords in the boat and all this water's coming in. There's only this sixth one is using just to keep it afloat. If you remove one of them, then the whole boat will sink. So you might have had 6 people stab you in the back that might have been really close to you, and now you're recovering. You've moved to a place where you're recovering from that traumatic event, and it might have been from people in your close circle, in your immediate close circle, which is more the reason to want to go and be away from those people that did that to you and triggered those emotions. So at the moment it's talking about a hermit. It says you're hermiting right now, Earth sign, so you could actually have Virgo in your chart, or that could be your sun sign. The hermit is to do with someone who is a teacher or a mentor. So you may teach or mentor other people or people that are younger than you to be a certain way, modelling good behaviour. You might be that figure. And it says here, you might also try to lead people back to the light if they've been through something in their life. So you act as a guide, a spirit guide along the way, where someone has lost their way in the dark and you try to lead them out of the dark back into the light, which is very difficult if you've been through something traumatic. Taking a break from society and a commitment to your spiritual growth. So just be that presence in their life and be that shining example and light their way when things look grim. I try to do that with my son. So sons, one of them reaches out, the other one doesn't. But, it's very difficult to be living in this time and day and age when all these negative things are on the news and, they're still young, and I keep thinking, they're okay. If they watch the news, that's not a problem. But you've got to remember they're 21 and 19. One of them's still a child. He's just come out of being a child to being an adult. So he'll internalise it and not talk about it. Doesn't mean he's not thinking about it. He's got the support of a girlfriend, which is great, but the other one doesn't. So I try to reach out for him more. So, and it's difficult to meet someone in this climate we're in. We're all not sure if we're vaccinated or not, or, if we're double jabbed. Like, how's anyone meant to meet anyone? How's love meant to happen when we've got all these things going along? So it's the segregation of everyone, which is really sad. In the past here, it says you had a windfall of money. So you may have come into money through an inheritance, a real estate, or inherited a house or a car, or just inherited traits from family members that maybe you liked or you didn't like. So that's the holding the coin there. A happy change in your career. So that's to do with a windfall. And then also in your past, you've got the 10 of Summer. This is to do with a very happy family life. So maybe, you were very close to your family and it was a nice family unit, and very fulfilling, just with very close friends and family, a very secluded. I'm getting the word secluded. You were, put out of harm's way. I'm getting, when you're isolated from the world, like we've been doing in COVID. That's kind of what happened to you in the past, is that they tried to protect you from everything that could hurt or harm you. You're very over, helicopter parented. That's what I'm getting. I'm guilty as charged. I'm the same way with my children. So you may have done that in the past, or you're very protective of your immediate close circle, and they are of you in turn. Then we've got here the Six of Spring. that's to do with it, like a ticketek parade. I get like when the Newcastle Knights went through the streets, we threw them this huge ticketek parade in 2007, and Andrew Johns was at the front of it, and everyone was on the bus singing this song that was quite popular back then. And yeah, talks about, I can't even remember the song, but it was very, very popular. And it was a Newcastle song after that, because they played it back on the bus coming home from the game in Sydney when they won. And I can remember it being such a big event. It was huge. The Workers Club, but it was then open back then, and they had them come back in after that because my mum worked there, I remember. And so here we've got, and my brother was a huge fan of the Knights, so that's right, I can remember the ticketek parade. So what it's saying for you right now is you're getting publicly recognised for things that you do, or smart choices that you're making, or rewarded for all your progress in your life. You're doing so well at the moment, and in your community you're being recognised. Ace of Winter, again, downloads. I got this with the last reading with the fire sign. So the crystalline thought is being downloaded into your brain, or you're picking up on energy in your future. This is what you'll get for a future, person. You'll become quite psychically inclined. That's a good way to put it. In your future, not right now. Maybe that sort of awareness will come about when you're older for some Virgos. Okay, and then we've got here the Four of Spring. That's to do with like a celebration, like someone's birthday or graduation. You're celebrating a party, like a big birthday party, or someone's engagement. It's deep feelings of peace and happiness. It's like the Four of Wands is the happily ever after card, and that's why I pulled the crystal. It's the pink crystal with rose quartz. Everyone wants their happily ever after, and that's what you're hoping for, I think, at the moment. Or maybe you have found it, and that's a good thing. And then we've got here for you, because Virgo is to do with Virgo, Taurus and Capricorn, you may have a fire sign that you found your happily ever after with, and you guys might have been meant to be. Your soul tribe might have shoved you together. You may have had past life connections. A family member may have a similar relationship to what you have, and the circumstances behind it may have been heavily influenced by your namesake, or maybe a family member that passed over, and you share maybe one of your middle names is the same as the one that passed over, that has led a very similar unorthodox road to love, because you've obviously moved away from something very solid like your family, from a colder country to a warmer country. So you've moved away from everything to start this new life with this Queen of Spring, which is Queen of Wands, Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, and they're go-getters. They are fearless. They have they can do a marketing program with 30 kids, and write up a birthday events management team, and still get home and take the trash out. They're the sort of people that can run an entire small household of people, of staff underneath them. They just have that leadership qualities, and I think that's really good, because the Hermit card represents if there's Virgo in your chart and you're an earth sign, they tend to be the quieter zodiac. They don't come out fires, trailblazing. They're not trailblazers. They have their own magic, and it's usually behind the scenes. They're not the sort of person that goes and sits in front of a camera or wants that attention. They like to be behind the scenes, helping people from behind the scenes, and they're just a quieter energy, where this person's out there and loud and proud, and like Jennifer Lopez, that song Loud. I get that song Loud whenever I think of Jennifer Lopez, and I used to sing it to my sons. They're like, "Oh, Mum, you're so loud." I'm like, "Yeah, good. I'm loud. That's how I am." I'm not going to apologise for who I am. I'm quiet, but I'm also an extrovert. I can be both. So this is here that this person around you is a wonderful person who's got a good business sense and brilliant, loyal, talented, friendly, and maybe they're in business already or in the same field as you, and will help your talent thrive or shine, because they've already been through the spotlight. They know how to handle certain things like that in their job. Then they could even be an actor, because you've got here the Moon. And the Moon talks about illusions, and with the Moon, she's looking inside the water there, and on the boat she's playing, looks like a guitar, but what's reflected in the water is actually a harp. So some things can look one way in the moonlight and different in the daylight. So they could be this particular person could have energy that's easily fluid. They can change their appearance and to fit into a society or into a crowd if they need to disappear. So they're like Houdini. They can vanish before you even know it. I get the word vanish. So That's kind of a handy thing to do if you're in the media or you're in the public eye and you want to escape the paparazzi, for instance. This person will know how to disguise themselves and hide. And that's what it's talking about. And it's saying with you being the Taurus, Virgo, the support act, Capricorn, it says here you've already started your own business and it's now starting to bear fruit and you're so happy to see it grow. Maybe you used to work for other people before, but it's saying now you're working for yourself and your own small business is growing at an exponential rate, better than what you anticipated. And it could be by helping people or mentoring younger people or the youth of the next generation. So you could be their mentor, like someone like that, to shine the light when they're having difficulties, like Lifeline has a suicide hotline, something like that. You're mentoring and trying to uplift these people who have maybe gone through a traumatic experience and struggled and still are struggling with mental health. So that's kind of why I like Lifeline. I used to work for Lifeline because that money that you pay for all the furniture and the products that are there, the clothing that's secondhand, all that money funnels back directly into the hotlines that I'm pretty sure are around the clock right now because of COVID. That money goes back to supporting those people that could be suicidal. So it's a really good cause. If you've got money and you invest back into the community that way, then you're doing a wonderful thing with what you've worked so hard for, because you're helping the community. And if you're helping a community, you're helping the world at large, because communities are stemming from people that come together like an extended family, but then that extended family goes on to other communities, and other communities support worldwide charities like Gaia Spa Retreat. I know they deal with lots of people from Oprah, and Oprah's all about donating money to worthy charities and things like that, like Relationships Australia, and she donates to, saving the children and all those wonderful things. So it all goes around. So if you support Gaia, the spa retreat with Olivia Newton-John, that all helps to support her ability to let people come over from Oprah to go and see and have a relaxing spa treatment if they've been through cancer treatment like she's gone through. So again, it's all like a domino effect. You get what goes around comes around, and this is the cycle of the wheel, the enchanted map. No, so I'm getting off a tangent there, but that's what I think you are very passionate about, helping the underdog. And I think that's why I have a soft spot for the underdog, because I've been one myself. And it's the people that are forgotten by society or not supported enough because there's not enough money to house people, or homeless people because they've gone through something really awful. And those charities I support because I've been on the end of that. I've been homeless. I've been lying in the old garage of where I used to live because I couldn't go home because there was an abusive situation. So I still today, I hand out money. If I'm walking along the streets, I put money in the people that are there that are homeless. I'm thinking, look, it must take a lot of courage to go out there as a man and have, a coin jar out there because they've got they're homeless. And it's rampant right now because of COVID. So I truly think that, I always give out to people that are homeless. And I think I used to spend most of my paycheck when I lived in Sydney, because the homeless situation in Sydney is 10 times bigger than what it is here where I live. And my boss at the time said, don't give them money, they'll go and spend it on drugs. I'm like, how do you know that? And they go, well, it's just a common thing. And I'm like, no, they might actually need it. And so I used to do that. So there you go. And to this day, I'm always finding coins in my bag. Like, I'll find $2 I didn't know I had, or I have 5 cents I didn't know I had. And that apparently by Alison Dubois, the psychic medium that's very famous. She says to tell you that that's signs from heaven. That's your relatives by they're leaving dollar coins and 5-cent pieces here and there so that you will never be without money. So they're trying to get your attention. And if you see a feather, that's them also trying to get your attention. So that's what I was told. Now I'm just pulling another card. This is the significator. This is to do with the enchanted map. Oracle cards. Oh, there we go. And there's a really good community that is funded by a church that is in my local area. I've told the kids that live here, because I live with some kids that are younger as well. It's for low-income earners, people that have lost work or don't work. Like I don't work at the moment. I'm trying to get this business off the ground. You can purchase vegetables. It's at the granary, and it's near Maitland Road, opposite Denga Park, and it has affordable groceries for people that are, low income earners, and they've got a pastor there, and her name's Peter, and a big shout out to her. She actually helped me through a hell of a lot when COVID first happened back in 2019, and I was homeless at the time, and I just got housed, and I was studying university amongst all that kerfuffle, and she was just there to listen, and she was so nice, and I just thought, she didn't judge me. She knew I had, issues, stuff that had been going on, and I had been, working through some trauma. And she was just in an ear, and she'd sit and have a chat with me, and we'd have a cup of tea, and we'd have a chat, and then I'd get a bag of groceries for $1. And I used to share that with the international students. I'd bring home food for them, and then they didn't have to go out and then try and find the money, because, you're cut off by society, different country, different money. So I used to cook meals for them, and pretty much fed 3 of them for about 6 months. And I did it because I wanted to, because they don't have the pension, they don't have, a healthcare card or a Medicare card, or not that I knew of. So I was just trying to be that person. Okay. And sort of like someone, just an ear, someone to chat to, or to kind of look out for them. I still talk to 3 of them today, and they're international students. They've moved on. They're probably going to go home. Well, that's a really good thing. I never thought about that. They're going to get injected probably now and be able to go home. That's such good news for one of them. I know she wanted to go home, but she was stuck here. So hopefully now she can return home. Oh, I got Yang. So that's for Earth sign. We have male and female energies in all of us. Sometimes it's very male, sometimes it's very female. And I find, depending on what moon is going on, is which one will come out. Which wolf will come out. The one that bites you, or the one that feeds you or gives to you. So with the yang is to do with male energy. That's to do with the next full moon, the Mars full moon. Aries, or I should say Aries full moon, which is on the 20th. So that's the male energy. So there'll be a lot of male energy coming out with the earth signs at the moment, rather than being the receptive. The last moon we had was a Scorpion moon, which is the feminine, the yin. So we're now pulling one more card. Oh, there we go. What do we find? Oh, to be fair. Oh, I like that. And so it should be. Right, so we've got follow the leader. And that's number 40 in the enchanted map. Follow the leader. Every life is a teaching tool for others. Your authenticity and honesty are an example to those around you. It says you're being called to lead by example. Your wisdom has been earned as a result of your bravery in the adventure of your life. The experiences of all your battles that you've won and lost, the places discovered, the tears that have shed, and joy revealed have placed you in a very unique position to be of service to others. Again, service-based or volunteer work. Your suffering has been crystallized into a talisman of wisdom. Now you must share it. By being fully authentic, you'll lead others into the light. You'll be required to divulge some things about your past so that you may be able to help someone else. Lead with love. There is another message here as well. Look to those whose great character and accomplishments you admire. Emulate the leaders you respect. You will then in turn have more to offer. So it's just saying, look at the ones that you look up to. Like I was talking about Alison Dwyer. Try to be like her. And so when she found homeless people, she wouldn't give them money. She'd go and buy them a burger from McDonald's. She said, I'm the burger fairy. And I thought that was cool, because at least she knew that they were going to be fed either way. It might have been a bit judgy, but I think it's nice that she still gave them food. Actually, I saw one guy gave this guy, homeless guy, a cup of coffee the other day. I didn't have any change to give him. So I went inside to get what I needed from the chemist. As soon as I got my change out, I gave him the change. So it wasn't that I was ignoring him. It was just I didn't have any change to give him. So I made a point of going in and giving it to him. So follow the leader. And then we've got protecting your treasure, 39. Yeah. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound. So, see, she's guarding her nest egg. She's squatting over it. It's like she's having a shower. This is what I do when I'm in the shower. throw my hair upside down, and I'm trying to work through all the knots because right now it's a mess. My hair needs a good cut. I can't wait till I get the jab and I can get a haircut. And so I've got to sit there and it takes me a good 20 minutes to get all the knots out. So it says here, protecting your treasure. Your hair used to be exchanged for goods once upon a time. If you cut your hair off, that was like a sign of loss. So she's grown her hair. That's usually a sign of prosperity or abundance. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound, no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone and you have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. Well, that's a nice thing to do. And then you've got here, to be fair. So that's like I was picking up yesterday, police energy or court energy off a flatmate's friend, 38. Must have been very weighing heavily upon her because I picked it off her head straight away. I thought she was an undercover cop, but there you go. Maybe that's because of who she's been around. An undercover cop. Balance, justice, and need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. Life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing. Yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being from a status to doing, from discovering, to loving, to letting go, to being again. Life is a pendulum. It swings between, like it's got here, the scales. The Libran energy, because we've got a Libran moon. So, they like balance. And, the scales will oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed to you now. How can you find in relationships, how can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as asking to be understood. There is much to be learned, and you will learn if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. The best kind of a relationship is one in which there is mutual benefit, that each party feels heard, valued and respected. Be fair to all. Now is a time for even exchanges. Justice will prevail and you will be treated accordingly. In all your affairs, you'll be able to negotiate fair settlements. Mutual gain is the gift to you and the partners and colleagues. This is also a very good time to square your finances and take stock of how you're compensated for your work. This card signifies balance and justice and negotiation, so remember that all things must be fairly recompensed. So if you've had something taken from you, then compensation should be dealt out accordingly, and you should get a fair whack of money, which is what I picked up here as well. Keep this as your truth, and so it will be. Injustice and inequity are a part of life, but they do not have to define your experience. This is a time when you may observe as an injustice righted and fairly redressed. Perhaps you come to the rescue of someone else or are called to answer for a personal slight. You will be amazed by the sense of power that surges through you when you stand up for yourself and for others. This card also indicates a good time to advocate for others who are less fortunate. Choose your cause and commit to it because you can make a big difference. One thing is for certain, if fairness is your intention, the situation will be resolved for your highest good of all concerned through acts of kindness, empathy and courage. So yeah, standing up for others is, again, something I highly recommend. I'm very much stand up for the underdog, the ones that are homeless on the streets that have no voice. So if they have no voice, and at least if they've got money, they have means to have a voice by being able to put food in their belly or be able to pay for the simple thing they may need, like medication. People don't forget things like that. They're saying that homeless people are the ones spreading the virus. Well, the reason that is because no one's putting them in a place and respecting them and giving them an opportunity to get well and get better. If you get that opportunity, then you take advantage of that and then you get well, you have food in your belly and you start to have a little bit of self-respect for yourself, which is what they did with me when I was in homeless shelter. Nova were outstanding. for looking after people that are homeless. They put me up in a hotel for 3 nights, a 5-star hotel, I might add, the Ibis. They were wonderful. And then I went on to a women's shelter, which again, wonderful people that ran that. Someone once said to me, I think I read it in the internet, God is everywhere, but you find people that are like God, or God is acting through, is what they say, through the people that are running those homeless centres, Lifeline, places like that. That's where you see God's work. And I thought that's such a true indicator of that. I thought that was a really good thing to say. That's where he lives. He lives in those places, and he uses other people's bodies or as a vessel, because you're a spirit. You come here as spirit in a human form. He comes through as a vessel or a spirit in that, and prompts those people to help others. So you're basically his mouthpiece. You speak for him and help other people that he would like to help. That's how I look at it. And I'm not hugely religious, but after dying 4 times, you start to have an appreciation of life and death. And when people go, oh, but you nearly died, and that's why you're psychic. Yeah, I died 4 times. When you die 4 times, you tend to come back a little different, and you see things a lot different on a different plane. Okay, so we've got here Yang, which is the number 1 energy. This is the Mars energy, fiery nature. I've got Aries in my chart. I can totally relate. We are the Emperor or Empress. We come into battle to stand up for people that can't stand up for themselves. The masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen, taking action. Yang represents the power of action, the energies that propel the world forward and manifest through and desire into concrete form. Now is the perfect time to act, for you can easily build momentum and make headway. What you want will come to you if you proceed confidently. This card signifies new life and is a sure sign that obstacles have been overcome. There is no reason to hesitate. You are the shaper of your destiny now. So instead of, someone else shaping you and telling you how it is, you shape your own destiny. You tell them how it is. Circumstances are supporting action on your part. It's okay to make the first move. Trust that you will quickly know where you stand. In matters of the heart, there is movement towards your highest good. So go forth with assurance. Passion is in the air, and now is the time to dance to the tune of love. Take the lead. Projects, partnerships, and all matters relating to your business are out of the obstacle phase and on to make it happen phase. Now is the time to stake your claim and get things done. While you can expect to be busier than usual, this card tells you that you have all the energy and vitality you need to accomplish what goals. Abundance is waiting for you to claim it. And this is for you for October. So keep getting out there and standing up for the underdog and protect those that you love. And, if there was a Virgo in your midst that you had to champion or advocate for, if you've done that recently, power to you, because you stood up for someone who couldn't speak for themselves. So that's a really wonderful thing. They may not want to know about it right now or know about you right now, but know that you did the right thing by them. And that's what it's saying. You've advocated for the rights of someone who couldn't speak for themselves. And that's a fair thing. Okay, so that's all I have today, and that was for Earth.